Yeah, cool. So yeah, I started early. Uh, Let me just see if I'm audible. Cool. So my audio is clear, and let me just check my camera. That seems to be clear. Then, well, uh, there's good enough people here, so we can begin. Actually, before we begin, let's just talk about what we're going to be doing today, okay? Because I am guessing most of you would not be familiar with this game. But, I mean, I know that people my age, we have grown up playing this game on earlier versions of Windows and everything. So, I mean, we know what this game is. We have enjoyed playing this game and we love this game. So, I just before we begin, we need likes. I think we need likes. Yeah, we need likes. Let me just check. Yeah, lights are there. And cool. So, coming back to what I was talking about, uh, this thing, Minesweeper. Okay. So, what is this game? How does this game work? And what we are going to be building today. Okay. So, just increase the volume. My volume is fine here. Increase the volume of the system. My volume is fine here. Yep. Alright, so what I was talking about is this Minesweeper game. Okay? So we are going to be building this game that I'm going to show you right now on Hatch. Okay? Before that, I just want to show you what the actual game is, from what game I'm being inspired to make this game on Hatch. So what happens is, in the game is called Minesweeper, and what happens in this game is you have a grid of squares. Okay, you have a grid of squares, like, yeah, like we have around, I'm guessing this one has 15 cross 15, 15 squares in one row and 15 columns, so around 225 squares here. Okay, so guys, my voice is clear. Half of you are saying my voice is clear, half of you are saying my voice is not clear. Now, I know my voice is clear because of my settings, so check it out from your end. Okay, let's come back to the game. So the game works this way. So you have some squares. You have a grid of squares, and behind some of those squares there is a bomb. Okay, so what you do is you click on these squares. Okay, now if the square that you have clicked on does not have a bomb, then what it does is it does either of two activities. So what can happen is it can show a number. Okay, so right now see, some squares are showing some numbers and some squares are blank. Okay, so see, and then some squares have bombs. So if I click on a square that has bomb, then I lose the game and all the cells in which bombs were visible become clear to you. That, okay, yeah, these cells have bombs. Okay? Yeah, cool. So let me just restart this game. Yeah. So what happens here is, see, if I click on a square and it does not have a bomb, then that square will tell me how many squares around that square has a bomb. So, like, see, this one here tells me that of all the squares surrounding this square, only one square has a bomb. So, I mean, I know that this square has a bomb now. Yeah? Like this one here, this tells me that, see, this one is surrounded by how many squares? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. 8 squares, right? Of those 8 squares, only one square has a bomb. Now we know that the 7 squares have been revealed, only this square is not revealed, so this square does not have a, this square has a bomb, right? Now see here, this 2 means that all the there are total 8 squares surrounding every one square, right? So of those 8 squares, only 2 of them is going to have a bomb. Alright? So what our goal is to unlock all the squares except for the ones in which there is a bomb. Okay? Cool. So see here, this number 2. So here it tells me that there are 8 squares surrounding this number 2 here. So it means that of all these 8 squares, there are 2 squares in which there is a bomb. So now, I know that this square has a bomb, and I know that these 3 squares are yet to be revealed, yet to be unlocked. So out of these 3 squares, there is going to be only one square in which there is a bomb. Why? Because one bomb is already displayed here. I mean, I know that this one has a bomb. So if out of these 3, only one cell has a bomb, then of all the 8 squares surrounding this number 2, there will be a total of 2 squares in which there is a bomb, right? So let me just click on this. So okay, this cell did not have a bomb. Now this cell did not have a bomb, so when I click on this cell, this is now showing me a new number. It's showing me a number 3. That means that of all the squares surrounding this number 3, there are 3 squares in which there is a bomb. Okay, so we just have to look at the numbers and figure out in which cells there are bombs. Okay, so now let's see. I'm guessing this one might be having a bomb, and this one does not have a bomb. So this one has a bomb. So this one, if I click on this one, now I'm going to lose the game, and all the cells in which there were bombs is going to be revealed. So if I click on this, yes. So this now reveals everywhere where there is a bomb. Now this cell has a bomb and this cell has a bomb, so these are correct. Except for that, every other cell in which there is a bomb is displayed. Okay. So now, okay, one last thing of how the game works. If you click on a cell, on a box, around which there is no cell which has a bomb, so the number is ideally 0. If the number here is 0, then what it does is, it goes on opening up all the squares until it has the squares have some numbers displayed. Yeah? So see, when I clicked on this top left corner, it revealed all of these squares where the numbers were supposed to be 0, and then it revealed all of these squares where there is a number. Yeah? So now this tells me that of these 2 cells, there is one in which there is a bomb. I know that this one has a bomb, so I can mark that there is a bomb here. Or I can just click on it and this will tell me where all the other bombs are. Okay? So we are going to be working on this game today. Let me show you this game on Hatch. Okay? So I have already coded this game here. I will be sharing the code of this game later on. I'm just going to run this game for now. And as I run the game, so the way it works is, if I click on the scene, I get my grid of squares. Now all I have to do is, I have to click on those boxes and try to not open up the bombs. So see, when I clicked on one of these cells, it did exactly what happens here. So I have very less number of bombs here, so I just have around 10 or 15 bombs. So it opens up a lot of empty cells till there are numbers displayed. Okay? So here you see, this 1111, it tells me that this square has a bomb. So right now if I click on this cell, it disappears, and it opens up all the cells in which there were bombs. See? Now if I click again, the game will restart. I click on it, see? So I click on cells and boxes open up till they display a number, or if I click on a bomb, then all the bombs are displayed. So right now to display all the bombs, I'm just disappearing all the, so sorry, I'm sweating. Uh, yeah, it's too humid right now. Okay, so yeah, right now instead of showing bombs, I'm just destroying all the boxes in which there is a bomb. Okay, so you can see the ones which do not have any bombs, they are light green colored, and the ones which have bombs and have been opened up are completely disappeared. Okay, have completely disappeared. Okay, so this is going to be our game. This is what we are going to be working on today and in one more session, because this is going to take a longer process. And I'm also, we are going to learn a new concept of JavaScript. Not a new concept for you all, but since I'm pretty sure most of the concept that I'm going to cover right now isn't generally covered in your normal classes. So we are going to be understanding object-oriented programming. We are going to understand what objects are in a JavaScript, how you can use those objects to code your game, code anything that you want. Okay, objects are a very crucial part of JavaScript, and it can be used to do literally anything in JavaScript. Okay, so cool. Let's begin then. Okay, so I am going to start with an empty project. You can see I have an empty project open here, and what we are going to do is I'm just going to delete everything, and I'm going to delete this ground. I am going to set my camera at y position 0, as in its position 0, 0, 0, and then I'm going to move the player a bit behind because I want all of my squares to be displayed at this 0 plane here. So I will move my camera at 7, Z position. Okay, so now see, I need a grid of squares, but I do not want to add a grid of square manually. As in, let's say I want to make a game that has 10 cross 10, a grid of 10 cross 10 squares. That means I will need to add 100 boxes by myself. I do not want to do that. That is a very tiring process. We are going to be doing it through code. So all I need is just one box, and that will do my job. So I'm just going to add a box, and I'm going to position it at 0, 0, 0. And see, this is a very big box, so I'm just going to make its size also small. So I'm going to make its size 0.45, 0.45, 0.45. So I want the boxes, so I actually wanted the boxes size to be of 0.5 in length, width and height. But I want there to be some gap between my boxes. So I'm going to place them 0.5 units apart, but I'm sizing my boxes as 0.45 meters. So there will always be a gap of 5 centimeters between each of my boxes. Okay, when I code them, you will see that. All right. So I have added one box. I'm just going to modify the designs of it a bit. So I'm going to make it gray, a bit gray, and I'm going to make it rough. Cool. And I need a bit more light, so I'm going to add an ambient light. I'm going to reduce its intensity, and this original light I'm going to position it at 0, 0 and 7 at the player's position. Cool. So I have this box now, and I'm just going to make it invisible because I don't want the original box to be visible. Wow, I am sweating a lot. I'm really sorry, I'm sweating a lot. Okay, cool. So we are going to now go to our code window, and we are going to start coding. So first of all, I told you we are going to understand what objects are in a JavaScript. So see, there are lots of ways in which you can define an object and create objects and understand, modify the properties of an object. I'm going to show you one way here. But before we do anything, let's understand what an object is. So, see, the easiest way I can explain is, so the easiest way I can explain this is, see, imagine like you are, okay, so in this actual world, there are lots of human beings, right? There are lots of even like same kind of animals, but each animal is unique in its own way. Like me and everybody else. There are so many. There are 7 billion people in the entire in this entire world, and all of them have similar properties. What properties? We all have 33 spines. We all have 106 bones. Sorry, 200. What? How many? Okay, damn it. We have 206 bones. Yes, we have 206 bones. You know, all human beings have 206 bones, 33 spines in there. Oh my God, I'm forgetting a lot of stuff. So we have 10 fingers, we have 2 eyes, we have 32 teeth. Basic properties of all the human beings are same, right? But each human being is different. Yes, each human being is different, but properties are same. So that is what an object is. So let's say like when God or whatever wanted to create human beings, they defined a basic set of properties of what a human being is going to be like. They're going to have skin, different types of skin options for skin color, different options for eye colors, different option for hair, like curly, wavy, straight, whatever. Then different options for what? I mean, eye color and height. Yeah, but they are going to have those properties, right? So similarly, imagine like you are the god of this world that you're coding, right? So now I want to have lots of objects with similar properties. Okay, let's say, so I'm going to show you. Just keep just watch, you will understand what I'm talking about. So one way to define an object is using the keyword class. So you write the word class. This means right now you are defining an object. So let's say I'm creating human beings in this world, in this coded world. So I'm going to give my template. So I told you all the human beings are different, but they all have a basic set of common properties. Those common properties can be grouped and written at once, and that will be called a template. And using that template, then we can manufacture each human being with their own unique looks. Yeah, that's exactly what we're going to do here. So we are going to first of all give a name to our object class. So we are going to say, let's say human. Okay, I'm going to say human. Yeah, fine. Human. Okay, so you define the name of your object or class, and then you follow it with a pair of curly brackets. Okay, and inside the curly brackets, now we inside the curly brackets, now what we are going to do is one second. Yeah. So inside the curly brackets, we are going to define all the properties of what our human object is going to contain. So to define the properties, now we have to write a function inside our class, and that function is called constructor. Constructor is whenever you define an object, you have to have a constructor function that tells you the properties of your object. So constructor is just, you write the word constructor, follow it with a pair of circular brackets and a curly bracket and a pair of curly brackets. Okay. Now inside the curly brackets, now I can write whatever properties my human object is going to have. So if let's say my human object is going to have age, eye color, and age and eye color. Let's go with these two. So if let's say for now each human is going to have two unique properties. One is age, one is eye color. So to define those properties, we use one specific thing called this dot, and then you define the variable. So this dot age and this dot eye color. Okay. So see, what this dot does is it tells your computer that you are talking about this age of this specific object. Okay, like it specifies the object. You can have age for lots of different objects. I can create another class called line, and I can have another age variable for my line object. But this dot age always relates to the age of the human class. Okay? Yeah. Cool. So this dot age and this dot eye color. So now what I'm going to do is now you can now see age and eye color, they can have different values. So what I can do is, just like you define local variables for a function, we can say constructor will take some local variables. So whenever you're defining a new object, you can pass on the properties. So I can say it takes in two local variables, u and v, and I say this dot age is equal to u and this dot eye color is equal to v. Okay, how is this going to be useful? So okay, now this, by doing this much, we have defined a class called an object. We have defined a class called humans, which have two properties, age and eye color. Now it's our time to manufacture humans. Okay, so to do that, we can simply just use our let or var declaration for a variable, and now I can define, let's say, Harry. Harry is equal to, it's a new human being, so I use a keyword called new. Okay, yeah, so I use a keyword called new, and I say new, Harry is a new human. This is how I'm saying that Harry is now going to inherit all the properties a human being, this human class, is supposed to have. So Harry is going to have an age and Harry is going to have an eye color. Okay, now see, the constructor has two local variables. So when we are creating this new object, we are going to pass on the two properties. So I'm going to say 11 and I'm going to say green. This means now Harry is a human whose age variable is equal to 11, and Harry is a human whose eye color is equal to green. Got it? I can define another human being now. I can say Ron. I'm just using characters from Harry Potter. I can say let Ron is equal to new human. So Ron is another human who is 11 years old and whose eye is brown in color. I can define lots of new human beings, and now we can just pass on these properties of 11 and whatever values we want to give for their eye color and age, and those will be saved for that human being's age and color. As in, cool. So now let's see. I created two human beings, Harry and Ron, and both of them have, let's say Ron is 13 years of age. Okay, so now how this dot age and this dot eye color, how is that useful? Because right now, let's say if I want to find out what is the age of Harry, the age variable in Harry, what is that equal to? So I can just use, so the point of using this dot was, now this dot can be replaced with your variable name. My object's name. My object's name is, so human was a class using which we manufactured two objects, Harry and Ron. Now Harry's age, human class had two properties, age and eye color. To find out Harry's age in JavaScript, all you do is harry.age. Harry.age means the age of Harry, that is equal to 11. This will give you 11. Let me show you. If I just say hatch.log and I place round brackets here, this, if I run the script, this will console 11. See? This is Harry.age will tell you the age of Harry. Okay? So now And similarly, if I say hatch.log and then I say ron.iColor, this will print out the eye color of the ron object. Okay, so that's brown. Yeah, so just a basic idea. Now you could have now we can define lots of more stuff. We can define functions inside an object of what activities that object can do and lots of things. But I just wanted to give you a brief idea of what objects are and how we are going to use those to code our game today. So now we are going to create an object for each of those. So see, all of these squares that we are seeing in this game here, let's call them cells. Each cell here has some properties. What properties? It will have an x position and a y position. Yeah, and then the cell is going to have a property of whether it contains a bomb or not. Yeah, so an x position and a y position will be a number, obviously, right? Other than that, whether my one cell contains a bomb or not, that can be a Boolean variable, a true or false variable, right? So we're going to do that. So let's just do that much. So now I'm going to reset my script here, and I'm going to create a class called cell with curly brackets, and then I say constructor, and then I say it needs an x position, it needs a y position, and it needs a value that tells whether the cell contains bomb or not. So I'm just going to call it this.bomb. Okay, so now x and y are going to be numbers. Now when I'm creating the cells, I can define which position they are in. So I'm going to pass on two local variables, and I'm going to say this dot x is equal to u, so, and this dot y is equal to v. So u and v are going to be the position of my cell when I create a cell, and I will pass on the position while creating the cell. Okay, whether it contains a bomb or not. So for that, I'm going to say just going to use a math.random function, and I'm going to right now just say, let's say 50%. There is a 50% chance that a cell contains a bomb. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to say if math.random is less than 0.5, then this dot bomb is equal to true, else this dot bomb is equal to false. So there is a 50% chance that my cell is going to contain a bomb or not. Alright, so we have defined this much for an object, and let's now create our cells. So what I'm going to do is, we need what? We need how many cells? So I'm going to create some variables on the top. I'm going to create number of rows. Cool. It seems to be working. Okay. Am I on focus? Yeah, fine. Yeah. So, no, it's not a technical issue. The camera has a 20 minutes time limit before the lens shuts down. So I have to restart the camera every 20 minutes. Uh, it's an old camera, so older cameras for their live streaming they have a 20 minutes. Older DSLRs they have a 20-minute time limit. The new ones they don't have it. So what can we do? Okay, so yes, we are going to create number of rows and number of columns. So for now I'm just saying that let's say my game is going to have 11 rows and I'm going to define another variable called COLS for columns, and that's also 11. Okay, so now I'm going to use a for loop, and okay, one more thing. So I'm going to say I'm going to define the scale of my box. So I know my boxes are 0.5 units in length, 0.45, I was talking about that earlier. So each cell occupies 0.5 meters of space in the X, Y and Z directions. Okay, so yeah, let scale is equal to 0.5, and now I'm just simply going to say for let I is equal to 0, I less than number of rows, I plus plus, so I goes from 0 to 10, and as I goes from 0 to 10, I'm going to have another for loop run inside of it that changes j is equal to 0 to j less than columns and j plus plus and what? So now see, I and j are two variables that are moving from 0 to 10 and 0 to 10. Yeah? As I and j are varying from 0 to, so let's come here. Okay? So we can say my topmost square here has I0, J0. Then the next square here has what? I as 0, J as 1. Yeah. This square has I0, J2. So I is 0 for all of this and J moves from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 till so on. Okay? And then I becomes 1 here, then J starts from 0, goes to 10, then I becomes 2 here, J starts from 0, goes to 10. Okay? So we have I and J for each of my cells. And we know that each of my box is going to be occupying 0.5 units in length. So what is going to, if I is 0, J is 0, and this box here is at 0, 0 for X and Y position, this means this box here is at what? 0.5, it has moved 0.5 units in the X direction, but its J value has increased by what? 1. So what we are simply going to do is, we are going to, first of all, we are going to say let C, a new variable, we are going to create a new cell. Yeah? And cell needs what? Cell needs two local variables. So its two local variables are what? I and J. Yeah? But if I do simply this, then the X and Y position, I'll show you. Okay. So right now if I run the script, this is going to create lots of cells, but they are not going to be visible. So we need to also have something to show for these cells. Yeah, so I'm back. Yeah, so we need to show something for our objects. So right now this is creating ourselves. This is creating ourselves, but it has nothing to show for how it has created those cells. So I'm going to create another function inside my object called show. To create a function inside an object, you don't use the keyword function. You just write the name of the function followed by a pair of circular brackets with any local variables that it might, any input values that it might need, and a pair of curly brackets where you write down the activity of what's going to happen in the function. So this show function, I'm going to use it to show something for this object. So I'm going to use my clone object function, and I'm going to use this. So hatch.clone object inside my show function, and I'm going to say clone what? Clone my box object. Yeah, and then you'll see here one thing that another new thing you'll use here. So we can this one cannot use the keyword function here inside. Rather than that, we are going to use something called an arrow function. It is called equal to then a greater than symbol. Okay, so this is an arrow function. It has the similar properties. It works in a similar way as the function keyword does, but inside this object we have to use an arrow function. We will come to why do we need to do that, but this will work. Okay, this is how it's supposed to be here. Let's just take it. Let's just take it right now, and I will explain to you later on why we are doing the way we are doing it. So hatch clone object. So box is going to be cloned, and box is going to be cloned, and then what? What is going to be the x and y position of the cloned object? So it is going to be what? The x and y values we are giving here. So rather than a number here, we will say this dot x. This dot x is all. So any variable that you're taking in from inside the object, you use this dot value before that. So similarly, clone object dot set y to this dot y. Yeah, and then our original box is invisible, so we need to make this clone object visible. So we say clone object dot set visible to true. Okay, so let's run this one. But you will see that someone is messaging that you are new to this. You can rewind the video and start from the beginning, and you will be able to follow. Yeah, also nothing is happening. That's because we created this function inside our object. Okay, we created this show function inside our object cell. So we have to call this function as well. How do we? So C, if C is a new cell, then C contains this function show. And how do we call a function inside an object? We say, we use the object's name. So right now here object's name is C, and then dot, and then we call the name of the function, show. You will see it is something similar to how we do box dot getX or box dot setX. Because in the backend of hash also, box, spheres, all of these things are also JavaScript objects which have these setX, getX functions defined for them. And the way to access those functions is object name dot function name. So here my object name is C and function name is show. That is C, or the object C contains the show function. So C.show will run the show function that is present in the C object. If I run the script, then Okay. Uh, what are you guys able to hear me right now? Can you guys hear me right now? It's that's going to be a 20-second delay. My camera did something that I did not notice, but this should have fixed it. Okay. Hmm. Fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a small revision of what we did today in our next session as well. Uh, Sorry about this. Let me just give you another recap of what I was telling you. So right now what happens is when I click on a bomb, it reveals all the bombs in my game, but I'm still able to open up other cells. Okay, so we have to fix this. We have to add a restart feature. And other than that, we have to add the feature of showing texts of how many bombs are around a specific cell. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, and then we have to do one last thing of if no cells, if there are zero cells, zero bombs around a cell, then keep on opening up other cells around it. Okay, so three things we are supposed to do: restart feature, uh, show text of how many bombs around a cell, and if there are no bombs around a cell, then reveal all the cells around it. Okay, so we will be doing that in our next session. Cool. So sorry about the mic problem. I did not see that coming. It is fixed right now, but yeah, we'll ensure that that doesn't happen in our next session. But you guys can still watch the video, go through the code I was doing, do the code, and practice this much, and we will cover the remaining in our next class. So, bye bye.